So, hello and welcome to 13th LegalRootlift webinar session. I myself, Priyanka Burman, your host for today's session, and I'm pleased to introduce our keynote speaker for today, Mrs. Ankita Pandey, IRS Joint Commissioner Income Tax. I would like to give a brief introduction of our keynote speaker. Mrs. Ankita Pandey, IRS Joint Commissioner Income Tax from 2009 batch is posted in Vadodara. She is a music lover, a travel enthusiast, and loves reading. She has done her graduation in law in 2006 and got selected in her second attempt as IRS IT, and now it has been 10 years in service. A very warm good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, Priyanka. It's a privilege to be along with young students who are trying to establish themselves, and I'm looking forward to the evening. So, as you have already, yeah,
Yeah, ma'am, the topic of discussion, as we know, that it is journey from law to civil service. So here I would just like to request the viewers or the participants to put out their queries if they have any in the comment section below. Over to you, ma'am, now.
thank you, Priyanka. So, it's the topic says that journey from law to civil services, and believe me, it has been a very beautiful journey. Beautiful. It was not rosy at all. There were a lot of struggles. There were a lot of ups and downs, but that is what makes it beautiful. Now, I will give a small introduction of myself, other than what you don't know, what Priyanka has not told you. I belong to a very small town called Jagdalpur in district Bastar of Chhattisgarh. So, being from a small town, uh, at around 10-15 years back, we didn't have much options in career like now we have a lot of options and lot of area of academics are open, but my parents are doctors, so I always saw them working hard and working selflessly. So I always thought that I would become a doctor and work for people like them. So it was only in 11th 12th standard that I realized that there can be something more fulfilling than being a doctor is like when you can also make policies and being a civil servant. So the dream started in class 12th when I saw policymakers in our city making policies and affecting lives of several people at once. So I did my 11th and 12th in biology. So the only thing I was thinking was to go into medical. So I got selected for dental. I was not selected for medical MBBS. That was first setback in my life, that I was not selected for medical exams. I didn't want to go and study dental studies. So my father suggested me at that point of time, around in 2001, that you do law. Doing law was like I was never in favor of it, because at that point of time law meant you should have a good establishment of your own, so that you can pursue litigation, and corporate lawyering was not an option at that point of time. So still I believed in him, and I started doing law, and I just enjoyed it. After 2 years of I did my BLLB honors from Bhopal University, the main Bhopal University campus, which is called as Barkatullah University. And in the second year, I became very keen to write civil services, and started thinking about it, and started small preparations in towards that. And as I told you, I was enjoying my law like anything, so I never looked back after that. So it was in my last year of completing law that I thought that Bhopal has limited exposure of books, of materials. I must venture ahead. So I, on my own, I said, my father, I'm going to Delhi. I'll go and see the books available and material available, and I will write civil services. My father said, okay, I will accompany you. Don't go alone. So he came with me to Delhi, and we went to this Bed Sarai, Jia Sarai. We saw all the books and everything. I bought certain books together with me, and then I decided I will go to Delhi, and then I will prepare. though it was a little difficult for my parents to send me away. But then my father has always been a very forward looking and encouraging support in my life. He said, okay, go ahead. So I went and I started preparing for civil services. So, all of us who write civil services or write any exam for that matter have this complex that people who write civil services are somewhat different from us. कुछ बहुत ही इंटेलिजेंट लोग होते होंगे, बहुत ही हाई फाई होते होंगे, कैसे क्रैक करते होंगे ये एग्जाम. तो इसी नोशन के साथ आई वेंट टू दिल्ली एंड आई गेव माय फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट एंड आई क्लियर प्रीलिम्स. सो मैंने रियलाइज किया कि इट इज नॉट कि कोई हवा हवा नहीं है. एनीबडी कैन डू इट अगर if you're organized, if you're meticulous, if you just focus on what to do, you can actually do it. So after I could not clear my mains in my first attempt. So that encouraged me, that clearing my prelims, that you can go ahead and take another attempt. So I worked further harder and gave my second attempt. I secured 145th rank in my second attempt, and my choice was one second choice was income tax. I My first choice was IAS, and as my rank was farther, so I got my second choice, and I'm very happy with my second choice. It has been a great, fulfilling 10 years in service. But one more thing I would want to tell you at this point, that when you talk about journey from law to civil services, there is always a beyond. So clearing civil services is not the goal of life. Once you clear civil services, that is, you are very excited the day of the result. You are very happy. There that moment you will never forget in your life. But the struggles, the journeys, the continuous striving to make yourself better never ends, because you are exposed to new struggles, new challenges where you have to live up to that. So you keep on improving yourself, you keep on working on yourself, and that is it. Now, I would like to talk about law as an option, which supported me a lot in civil service. Law is a very beautiful subject. It is like it is as meticulous as mathematics, and as it gives you a scope of getting creative with your answers and with your elocution as any art subject. So it is a beautiful mixture of both of it. So it scores very well in UPSC because you have the questions are to the point, you have to answer to the point, and there is only one answer. But even if there is one answer, there are different ways of expressing it. That is the beauty of law. So I think I scored very well in law, and I think I have whomsoever I have met in civil services, and law, with law as an option, will have the same thing to say, that law is an excellent option for civil services. And you should definitely, if you have done law in your graduation, you should definitely go with law, because law also gives you an acumen of understanding the society, of seeing things, breaking down the things in part, and then seeing the complete picture around that. So that is a very important thing with law. And now one more addition, star with law is that law is also giving you a lot of backup options. Law from in these 10, 15 to 20 years has come as one technical subject which is everywhere. Whether you want to do something in academics, in UPSC, public sector, private sector, litigation, it gives you myriad of options. And that is what it makes a very beautiful subject, because you can definitely prepare for your backup plan if, and God forbid, you are not selected in UPSC. So that's about law. And a lot of students, while talking to me, have raised questions like, when you prepare for such examinations, you are definitely under stress, under a tremendous pressure, because you want to establish yourself, and time is running. That's the only time to do everything. and then you have to settle in your life, get married. So that's those 10 years, 20 to 30 years of your life is the time where you have to do a lot of things, settle a lot of things. So yes, stress is there, and I would say a little bit optimum amount of stress is good also, because that would give you motivation to proceed ahead. But yes, you should manage your stress by don't be just a kitabi kira. You know, it is said that all work and no play makes joy dull guy. So you know, have some hobbies, good hobbies, you know, variety of hobbies, mixed bag, and enjoy your life to the full, because you know, the joy is in the journey. So when you achieve something, that's a different kind of joy. But the joy which the journey gives you, that the destination will never be able to give you. So I always say to all my young people that, you know, just enjoy your journey.
Very
You
nice,
have,
ma'am.
yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
you have some questions, you can take it right now, because I think that that would give a interactive, it would make a session interactive instead of
Yeah.
pushing it to the end.
Yeah, true, ma'am. I would first request if any viewers have any queries, they could put in the comment section. If any viewers they have any query, they can put up. And till the viewers put up some questions. Okay, hi, ma'am. I am Pushpa Kumar. What role can be played by a corporate lawyer in civil government services? Ma'am.
Hi, hi, Pushpa. So, you are a corporate lawyer and you want to play a role in government services. So there are a lot of the government contracting is there. So a lot of contracts, companies contract with the government. So if you want to work on that side, there are a lot of government contract with, which is there. Plus there are service matters. A lot of civil servants approach lawyers for service matters. So you can also be an expert in the service matter. You can also be expert in a particular law, like for our when we talk about income tax, it is a very technical and expertise statute. So we need lawyers who have a good understanding of it. So if there is any problem with us, like in interpretation, or the court has given any stay and the court has given a particular meaning, we seek legal opinion of lawyers. So there are various in various manners you can contribute to the government if you want to. You can check it out, definitely.
Thank you, ma'am. Is there any other questions?
One more thing I
Uh,
would like to add about civil services as a career is that आजकल आप लोग न्यूज़ में बहुत सुन रहे होंगे nepotism and high handedness. So in a world where there's a problem of nepotism, there's a problem of this monopoly, hierarchy being carried out. There is one service which is a great equalizer. Like any person from any background can become a part of civil services and contribute to the nation. So one more beauty of civil services is that it is a great equalizer of society. We have people from myriad backgrounds, people from IITs, people from art stream, people from humanities, doctors. A lot of variety is found here. So they also bring a lot of experience. The more the variety is, the more experience you are bringing into the government. And now you must be very well aware that the government has started this lateral entry in civil services. So if you are an expert in your field, that you never know that the government might pick up you in the later stages of your career to be a part of civil services, because what civil services is seeking now is expertise and contribution from a wide variety of society.
well, uh, how is selection mode for central government advocates? Ilonga Rajman. I missed the name
Central
actually, ma'am.
central government advocates.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, empaneling for government advocates. Yeah, there is an exam for that, I believe. You will have to find it out. I am not very well aware of it, but there is an exam for it.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, there is another question. Is it necessary to do LLM before approaching civil service exam?
Not at all. Not at all. LLM is post graduation. You can very well after your BLLB or LLB graduation. The eligibility for civil services exam is basic graduation. So you can very well proceed.
Yeah, so the next question is almost same. Can I go for civil services exam after BSc?
Yes, definitely. Definitely you can go after BSc in any stream. The only thing you have to do is that properly choose your subjects. There are certain subjects in civil services which will give you wonderful results, while there are certain subjects because less people take it, the score is not does not go very high. So that thing you will have to do while choosing the subjects, but you can definitely go for civil services.
Any other questions? Ma'am, I am the same Pushpa Kumar, okay? I just want to know which law subject was most difficult for you and why. Okay, that's interesting one,
Ah.
ma'am.
Yeah, that's an interesting question. It's a long time back. Just give me 1 second. I think the most difficult subject for me was international law. And
And
why I
why,
would
ma'am?
answer,
Yeah.
international law is a very dynamic law. It's developing at a speed जिसको हम catch नहीं कर पाते हैं. Plus, their practical difficulty ये आती है कि in international law notes are not available. You know, good books, good notes are not that much available as they are for other subjects. Because in civil law, a lot of expertise has already been done. We have a lot of experts for contracts, torts, IPC, civil and criminal lawyers. But international law is a new area, and generally, people who engage in international law don't like write books. They are not into academics, so there is a disconnect. That was the basic because आप कुछ भी करने जाते थे international law में, so we were not able to find the current status, the current position. So you have to Google it all the time. Now it has become a little bit easier with so much material available online. But yes, it is difficult because the questions are also different, and you have to be aware of the law status of law and the at least the basic idea of the main tenets of law in other countries also when you're talking about a particular subject. So it is a little bit difficult. Like when you talk about extradition, you know about extradition laws in India, but you talk about extradition of Vijay Mallya with say London. So you will have to be aware about their extradition proceedings, what happens in their courts. So it is a little tricky subject.
How did you organize your daily routine while preparing for your civil services by Ajit Pandey?
Yeah, so I was. It's a very good question because you have a lot of time when you are preparing completely. That means you are not doing any other service or any other work along with your preparation. Then you definitely have the entire day at your hand. Now, the planning the day is very important. Make your timetable. Break the day into parts. Don't let the day to be monotonous. I mean that if you pick a subject, keep it for little time, like 2 hours for one subject, then 2 hours for another subject, or maybe less than 2 hours, so that it can hold your interest. And that way you will not be bored, and you will not feel that ये मुझसे नहीं होगा. Sometimes the subject is difficult and you want to lose your track in between. So if you study history for 2 hours, it might not be that difficult vis-a-vis studying it for 8 hours. So just break your timetable into different time parts. Find time for relaxation and rejuvenation. That is very important. And find time for sleeping. Sleeping is also very important. The biggest mistake all the people who prepare for civil services do is that compromise on your sleep time. Do masti in the day, and night is no, we will study in the night. So I think that might go for some time. मतलब ऐसा नहीं है कि पूरे time you cannot be disciplined. So that might be go well for some time, but yes, definitely organize your timetable into smaller pockets. I will tell you, I when I used to travel, I used to um, reside in Rajendra Nagar. Some of you who know Delhi would know that Rajendra Nagar and Mukherjee Nagar are quite distant. So I used to travel for attending some classes, and that used to take a lot of time for me, like 2 hours or sometimes more than that. So what I used to do is that in the night when I was studying something, when I was reading something, I used to speak it and put it on recording on my phone. And when I was sitting in the metro or rickshaw, I used to listen it so that I don't waste time in between. So that is how you have to somehow some method you have to devise of your own. There is no everyone has their own journeys, so it's not a straight jacket formula.
Yes, ma'am. That's Please share your experience regarding the cadre selection. Oh, ma'am, Umida
Cadre
Ankar, ma'am. It's
cadre selection. So I would share both regarding service selection and cadre selection. Now this question has come up. So service selection, so very sure that generally most of the people fill administrative services on the top, and then police services. Many people who are not comfortable with the temperament in police services, they also fill foreign services. And then there comes the other central services like income tax, customs, excise, audit and accounts, etc. So it depends on your choice and of course on your rank on the selection of service. Regarding cadre selection, when I wrote exam, the cadre selection was on the basis of your merit and on the basis of your choice. So generally people choose home state as the first preference for their cadre. And so if this question is meant that which state is better and which state to choose, then I would say it depends upon the person and the temperament. But can you be more specific, Umita? So, okay. So, if you are not in administrative services, so cadre is like cadre is of no use for you. So, if you are in central services, like if you are in income tax, so now income tax is a central service. So, basically, you are cadreless. You can be posted anywhere in India. Like for administrative services, if you choose Gujarat as your cadre and you get Gujarat as your cadre, for your life you will be posted in Gujarat. But for central services, like I was initially posted in Delhi, then I shifted to Gujarat. So it is you will be moved to the entire length and breadth of India, depending upon the administrative convenience and your choice, of course. So this is the difference which generally people preparing for civil services don't know, because we generally think about administrative services and cadre. So cadre is applicable only for two services, IAS and IPS, and for rest of the services it is generally not cadre, it is the entire the posting can be anywhere in India.
okay. Any other question? Ma'am, please suggest some strategies for law as an optional subject in mains, how to prepare, because law is vast, how to manage GS, easy ethics, and law optional. Mirza Muhimuddin Beg.
Yeah. Can you just show his question again? Yes.
Uh, some
Mains,
strategies for
for mains, yes.
yeah.
Law is vast. Yeah, definitely law is vast. So the strategy is again I would say divide the Like there are subjects in law, for example, IPC, torts, contracts, which are very specific. They have a specific syllabus. They have they do generally the problematic part in law, I believe, is constitution and international law. The second part is more specific because it has all those statutes which has specifications and specific sections in it. So now regarding the strategy for law as an optional, um, do a lot of answer practice, because as I said, law is specific, but reaching to that specific also, you need to uh, approach it from a different perspective if you want to fetch more marks. Like if, for example, in civil services a question comes that person has taken pen of another person without consent, without knowing, and this and that, and you see all the ingredients of theft are being fulfilled, you know that this is theft, and you have to write it. Now there are different ways of writing it which will fetch you more marks. So I would say do a lot of answer writing and share it among your peer groups. um, for mains, it is the most um, most effective strategy, I would say. Answer writing and sharing it with peers. Uh, Take up last 10 years question papers and start writing answers, and start sharing it. If you do have no one to share, then you compare your earlier answer with your present answer, and you will see that in 2 3 months of doing this practice of answer writing, you yourself will find improvement of your earlier written answer and the presently written answer. Plus the case laws are very important in law, because you have to be updated with the recent and important case laws. So if you write case laws in your answers, that definitely gives extra fetches extra marks. uh, so you have to be update on that. Plus if you are update on the current developments of a particular situation, like if some question is asked regarding a particular section and you're aware of the current development, you should definitely write about it, because that's how you are going to be different, and you'll fetch marks for it. For GS essay, you said, for GS and for essay, always when you practice essay, always start with randomly putting up your thoughts in a piece of paper. That is the best thing for writing essay or any GS answer which is very general, because general things tend to confuse you, or you don't know what to write. And then think about it from different perspectives. Like you think about why this question has been asked, and then what is the importance of that question in that current scenario, the historical perspective, the sociological perspective, the geographical perspective, the technical perspective, and any if any current development is that there in a particular topic, then mention that. So you have to cover the entire thing. So it is better to randomly jot it in a piece of paper and then structure it. Don't just start writing essay when you get your essay paper. That would make it very difficult, and that would break the flow in your essay. Material was not available. I think material was available for almost all the subjects. I think basic books are there for all the subjects. So you cannot say that material is not available. Now, if you are talking about the material regarding recent developments, like in constitution, it is always having some recent developments. So you cannot just rely on old material or old book. So you can definitely nowadays, so you can Google and get the material. At that point of time, I used to make notes from newspapers. Like if I read newspaper, and if I see that there has been a particular development in a specific law, say in the contract law or in the constitution, I would note it, and then I would definitely go back and read about it in detail on the internet if it is not available in the material. So some work is required. In fact, keep a diary with you. Keep noting all things connected to law or any subject you are interested in. For example, if you are a law student and you see during the day these are all the news, so what is the legal perspective from on that? Start reading it. जैसे कि now for example Google has started this Google Play Store on Android phones has started charging the apps for if anybody is downloading it. So this is a very normal news. Now you have to think it from the legal perspective, that what is the legal angle for it. If they are charging this particular amount from them, then is there a contract between the two? Which law will cover it? So you have to think from that perspective. So always find news is neutral. You have to make use of it by finding your subject in it. Think law, eat law, sleep law. So
Any other questions? Ma'am, as you said that there are a lot of ups and downs in your journey too. So how did you deal with them, ma'am? Failures.
yes, dealing with failures is always difficult. One important thing to deal with failures is to believe in yourself. You see, accept your failures. Just don't think that, oh God, this has not worked for me. I am such a fail in my life. I will not be able to do anything now. Just don't go and take your mind in that line. Failures are a part. If you don't get them, you will never see the bright side of it. So what I did is that I had a very strong support system of my friends and my family. But more than what was on outside, I on the inside I was very sure that whatever I have this lacuna, I have this ये कमी है मुझ में, लेकिन you definitely have to work to cover it. Once you know that there is some flaw, then अगर तुम उसको ठीक करने के लिए कुछ नहीं कर रहे हो, तो now it is your mistake. You cannot be a cry baby in life, because life is not fair. किसी तरीके से हमको आगे बढ़ते रहना है. So if there is a failure, then there is a reason for it. Failures also happen without any reason. Sometimes you are just unlucky in life. So for those, you will have to accept them and don't close doors of other opportunities. So this is a complex process, and as just don't give up on yourself. Have faith on yourself and any supreme being you believe in. Everything will work out.
That's an incredible motivation, ma'am. Next question. For 5-year LLB students, which combination of subject is perfect for going to civil services?
I think now there is only one optional, so you can definitely choose law as your optional. And there is no other. There are no two subjects. Am I right, Priyanka? There is only one
Uh,
subject right now.
in this case, I'm little not sure about it because my background is
Yeah.
not law, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So there is only no for civil services. There is only one optional now. So you can keep law as your optional, and GS is already there. So there is no confusion of two subjects now.
Ma'am, I have heard people study 14 to 15 hours a day. Is it true?
I am also searching those people till now. मुझे भी कोई नहीं मिला. Nobody studies for 14 to 15 hours. It is not practically humanly possible. It is possible when you are on the brink of the exams, like 1 week is left for your mains. So you can study for 14 to 15 hours, maybe one day, maybe at maximum 2 days. But every day you cannot study for 14 to 15 hours. The optimum you can study is only for 7 to 8 hours. उससे ज़्यादा I have not seen anybody studying. It is very difficult. If you're regular with your studies, you cannot stretch it for 14 to 15 hours. It is very difficult. It will not be effective. 7 to 8 hours is optimum, and they are effective also.
Next question. Ma'am, I'm Pushpa. What can suggest for people who started the LLB in mid-age?
See,
What?
if you're doing LLB in mid-age, then there is higher judicial services examination. Um, But I think that also requires some year of practice. So you can also go for public sectors if you want to do some in something in the service sector. If you want to do something in litigation, it doesn't matter when you start. Uh, there is no age for doing LLB. I have seen I've seen a lot of people who are doing their LLBs in 60s. So and they're also practicing law after retirement. So that is the beauty of LLB. If you are having some experience in some other area before doing LLB, then you can club your experience with your LLB.
What is the highest age to apply civil services in India, ma'am? Currently, can you please tell me highest in the
Highest age. It is different for different categories. For general category, I think it is 30 years, and the ages are different for different categories. So you will have to definitely check for it. Just don't go on my words. It is 30 for general category as far as I remember, but it is very much available online. Please do check it for facts.
any other queries?
So I would tell you something.
Yes, ma'am.
When I was taking examination in my first attempt, at that point of time there was a change in civil services pattern. Like from there was no negative marking earlier, and from that I think in 2007 the negative marking was introduced. So everybody was worried. Even I was worried because it's very difficult to when you have multiple choice questions, and if you're not sure, then negative marking is very difficult to handle. But it worked in my favor. It worked in favor of all those who have less of guts, and more rely more on whatever they have studied and remembered. So it is something might come in your way which you feel that it is not good for me, why it is happening with me. But later on you will realize that the same thing will turn in your favor. So this is one incident which I always want to tell people, that there is some divine force which is there with you, and it will support you to the um, area which you are working and doing your hard work. So if somehow it's not supporting you in that area, then please don't be pessimistic about life, because a lot of time it happens that you've put a lot of hard work, you've given 2 attempts, 3 attempts, 4 attempts, and you're not getting selected, and you feel like everything is over for me. I've wasted so much time. But time which is spent in improving your skill is never a waste of time, because later in life you will realize that you don't get that time back where you can spend time on yourself to improve your skill. Because once you get in the midst of your life with the family and with your kids, you don't get time to improvise on yourself. So any time you have spent on improving your skill is not a waste of time. And if you are not supported by the divine force in that particular area, then go somewhere, go to some other area, and you will see that unknown support and unknown things would come in your favor. Things would turn streamline, the stars will streamline for you. So it's always a matter of your perspective, that you should never be pessimistic about your failures.
Thank you, ma'am.
Like I said, one question is there.
Yes, ma'am. Muskan Verma, LLB student, you are very inspiring. I want to know who was your inspiration.
Who was my inspiration? See, my parents were my inspiration at that point of time. Actually, you cannot settle down for one inspiration. I was my own inspiration, I would say. And any person who is successful and who has seen life would say they are their own inspiration. So one inspiration I had was to work selflessly for people, as I used to see my parents. But yes, you have also to take care of the financial stability, security, and other things in your life. So you have to be your own inspiration. Light your light within. Don't go outside.
Okay. So, any other queries? What is your
What
maximum
is your?
study time?
I have studied. I told you I have studied for 13 to 14 hours also, but also only during the examination time, not regular. Regularly, I used to study 7 hours, 6 to 7 hours, maximum 8 hours. Some days 4 hours. So regular study is 6 to 7 hours, and 1 week before exam it is 13 to 14 hours. 2 3 days before exam it is again 7 to 8 hours.
Any other questions? Ma'am, if anyone work in National Human Rights Commission or International Human Rights Commission, can he get any relaxation like as Defense Department
Relaxation.
peoples get? Can you
Relax,
please tell me, ma'am? Please.
relaxation in age. Relaxation in what?
It's
Age for
not
civil services.
mentioned here, ma'am. Exactly. Can he get any relaxation like as Defense Department
Defense Department people get.
peoples? Yes.
Relaxation in age, are you talking about, Ranbir? You can add on to your question.
We'll, this is yes, age
Relaxation. Relaxation
of
of age. I don't think so. I don't think so there is any relaxation. But again, check for facts. But I don't think so there is any relaxation for people working in NHRC.
any other questions from the viewers? Do you think the recent change happened in reservation has affected a lot to the students, usually those from general category, since it is already difficult for us to get in?
Yeah, Ajit, see, this is a matter of policy now. You cannot fight against it. So, if you work hard and put yourself with full effort, I don't think it will matter. These things definitely have a marginalizing effect on the selection process. But we are a socialist nation. We have to we make policies thinking that. So reservation is one of result of one of that principle. We have to live with it. So it's better we accept it and work accordingly.
Any other queries?
Nobody can take your seat when you're where you are destined to be. Everybody is taking their own seat only. So though these policies affect, but you also have to understand that we have to provide equality to other people in the society. And as you know, equality is never in absolute terms. It is always there is so much historical and sociological perspectives involved in it. So I think we should respect government's decision on that and proceed with whatever we can do in our life.
Very well said, ma'am. So, any other queries?
People are now tired and bored, I think. So I
Yes.
think towards the end of this session, I would cite my Favorite lines from my favorite poem of हरिवंश राय बच्चन जी, that कोशिश करने वालों की कभी हार नहीं होती. उसकी 4 लाइन है जो मुझे बहुत पसंद है. गोता सिंधु में गोताखोर लगाता है, सिंधु में गोताखोर सिंधु इज सी, यू नो, गोताखोर गोज इनसाइड द सी और बार बार जाता है और खाली हाथ आ जाता है. मिलते नहीं सहज ही मोती गहरे पानी में. मतलब अगर पानी जितना गहरा है उतनी ही डिफिकल्टी होगी मोती ढूंढने में. तो इतनी आसानी से मोती नहीं मिलते गहरे पानी में. बढ़ता दुगना उत्साह उसी हैरानी में. और यही देखकर उसका उत्साह दुगना बढ़ जाता है कि इतना गहरा हो सकता है पानी कि मुझे यहाँ पे भी मोती नहीं मिला. ठीक है, पर मुट्ठी उसकी खाली हर बार नहीं होती. मुट्ठी उसकी खाली हर बार नहीं होती, कोशिश करने वालों की कभी हार नहीं होती. और वो लास्ट में लिखते हैं कि कुछ किए बिना ही जय जयकार नहीं होती. तो यू हैव टू बी एक्शन ओरिएंटेड. कीप डूइंग, कीप डूइंग, कीप डूइंग समथिंग. You will definitely achieve success somewhere. It's not that there is only one door to success, and if that closes, nothing is there. Keep yourself sane and keep working. Keep smiling. Be happy.
Very beautifully said, ma'am. So, do we have any other queries? Oh, thank you so much, ma'am, from Legal Rootlift team. And it was really an encouraging those lines, the way you mentioned, ma'am. It's very nice. And during this lockdown, especially, we really need this kind of encouragement, ma'am. And it's really
Yes, I
so
know.
nice to hear.
This lockdown has the difficult time for all of us, and especially for students who are studying and aspiring. It was a very uncertain time, but this too shall pass, and definitely it will bring something good.
Yes, ma'am. We hope for the best. So, do we have
Yes.
any more queries or questions from the viewers? We have just little time left. So, if you have any queries, you can put out. Okay, if we don't have any queries, ma'am, I would like to just put, ma'am, you already mentioned about it. Is it good to have a backup plan before appearing for civil service examination? Always we should have a backup plan, ma'am.
Yes, definitely. Not one. You can have at least two plans ready with you, because you know, howsoever civil services is, you know, you can structure it, organize it, prepare for it, but it is never a surety that you would get through a particular exam, especially examination like UPSC, because there are a lot of levels involved in it, and so it is definitely good to have a backup plan and work upon it. That would give you necessary strength to pursue your interest towards civil services, and that would keep your stress level a little less, because you will have something else as security in your life. Because as I said, after you know, when you are trying to settle down 10 years down the line, you like to imagine yourself financially stable and well in the society. So it is definitely important to have a backup plan.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, I have given NEET for 2 times, but don't get selected. And now there is a lot of society taunts that I wasted my years and I'm so depressed.
Siddheshwari, as I already told you, no time is waste of time. So you can go ahead and join wherever you are getting admission. You know, it is not necessary that if you didn't get through NEET, then it's end of life. Don't be depressed, because society keeps on taunting. उन्होंने तो मेहनत की नहीं है, मेहनत तुमने
Hmm.
की है. They are not seeing the kind of trouble you had while you were preparing. So don't listen to them. You know that you have not wasted your time. Look ahead, look forward. Society will taunt even when you have gotten selected and got into a particular college. Then they would have said, "उसमें क्यों नहीं हुआ? तुमने ठीक से मेहनत नहीं की होगी." So you cannot stop them from saying, and don't stop them. Just smile at them and do whatever you want to do. But I told you, na, I joined law because I was not selected in medical. So my father was a doctor, and we were in doctor. We used to be in doctor circles. So all my father's friends used to tell me that तुमसे हो नहीं पाया MBBS, इसलिए तुमने लॉ ज्वाइन कर लिया. कि हमने सोचा नहीं था कि डॉक्टर साहब की लड़की MBBS नहीं निकाल पाएगी. तो लोग ऐसा कहते हैं, कहने दो, मुझे भी बुरा लगता था. बट देन यू हैव टू लुक अहेड व्हाट्स इन फ्रंट ऑफ यू. जो बीत चुका है वो तो, जो बीत गई सो बात गई. जो होता, जो अगर आपको हुआ, फिर से मैं हरिवंश राय बच्चन जी को कोट करूंगी कि आपका मन का हुआ तो अच्छा, और आपका मन का नहीं हुआ तो बहुत ही अच्छा. इसका मतलब आपके लिए कुछ और डिजर्व्ड है. तो लुक फॉर दैट. डोंट बी डिप्रेस्ड.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Any other queries and questions? I have one last question, ma'am. What is the highest age to do LLB in India? Can you please tell me?
Highest age to do LLB. I don't think there is any highest age to do LLB. If anybody knows, then you can definitely write it down. Because I also don't know. There is no highest age, I think.
Thank you so much, ma'am. You're really
You are
inspiring.
welcome.
Any other queries from the viewers? So we will slowly wind up. If there are any queries. Okay, if there is no queries, then we will wind up. So as we have come to the end of today's webinar session, I would like to thank LegalRootlift in association with Fun with Science and all the media partners for conducting such an interesting and important webinar. And last but not the least, I would like to thank you, ma'am, for taking time out from your busy schedule and enlightening all of us with such beautiful words and framed it so well, ma'am. It was really nice, and indeed it was honor for me to be the
It was
host
my
of today's
privilege,
session.
Priyanka.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, ma'am.
Thank you.
So thank you.
Thank you. Bye.